seminars, when you're getting training, when you're getting like reading the best books and listening to the best advice, or get coaching, or getting a business strategist to help you, what is happening is they went to this seminar, they went to this program, they started reading this book. All of a sudden, they are talking different languages. They only talk conscious languaging about stuff. In this video, I'm going to talk about what is stopping you from growing your business to the next level. You want to grow your business to the next level. You want to have more cash flow. You want to have more revenue, more profit, and more cash in your account. And why it is not progressing. You're listening to all the podcasts. You are listening to best videos. You're watching the best videos by best people. You're doing everything you can. You have all the wisdom in the world, but it's not working out for you. What is going on? Maybe it was working for you in the past, but it's not working anymore. And in the last point, I'm going to share 5 points with you today. The last point I'm going to share with you a radical way of looking at yourself. A radical way of looking at yourself that could dramatically shift the way you operate your business so that you could create more income and more revenue and more profit in your business. With that, let's get started. Number one, you are split into two. What? All right, you'll be, what are we talking about? What I'm talking about is there is a light side of you, there is a darker side of you. There's a light and there is a shadow. And any time when a human is walking, there is a human and there is a shadow behind her, right? So that we have a shadow. And every human have that. So when you are getting personal development, when you are learning, when you're going for seminars, when you're getting training, when you're getting reading the best books and listening to the best advice, or get coaching, or getting a business strategist to help you, what is happening is whatever you are learning as your light self, your shadow self is also learning. Pay attention to this very, very carefully. Because whatever you know as like Deva, as Hindus would call it, Deva, your Asura, which is the darker side of you, also learn at the same time. So what is happening? So initially, it's like, when you start learning something new, your light side is like really, really excited. And it's like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. And then the darker side will catch up. Have you ever had an experience where you actually went for a seminar and you felt so great? And this happened to be my story too, right? 2009, I went to one of the top seminar leaders in the world and spent time with him. And it was the most amazing experience. I went for the same thing on 2014. Like, nah, what is this? What are we doing here? Why? My shadow self caught up. That's when I realized like all these personal development things that we are doing, the teaching, the seminars, the videos, the books, everything need to be revolutionized to a different level in order for it to actually work for people. So understand that. So I'm going to the second point, which is re-traumatization. So I have been in like so many places to know that there are people who are like perfectly normal. They just want to grow their business, and they went to this leader, and I will talk about cultishness in a second. But before that, they went to this seminar, they went to this program, they started reading this book. All of a sudden, they are talking different languages. They only talk conscious languaging about stuff. And they feel like they are broken. There's something seriously wrong with them. And we'll talk about brokenness in a second. And then they start judging them so much. Instead of becoming a consciousness being, they become a self-conscious being. Instead of becoming a consciousness being, they become a self-conscious being, which means they are questioning them for everything. They're judging them for everything, right? Before they were judging other people. Now they are like judging themselves because they read all the self-help books, all the seminars, all the details. They know about all the crap in the world. What happened? They are confused and even more confused. This is what I call as re-traumatization. Imagine you had a trauma and you went through the experience and you transcended that, you came out of it. And then you went somewhere and the person is like, okay, in order for me to make money as a therapist, as an advisor, as a strategist, as a coach, okay, let me heal you again. And they walk you through this thing again. And you feel good. You know what? Because you feel like you're making progress. Why? Because you are like, you went into a well, like you went into a kind of a, water well, and then you came out of it, and then you went into that again, and then coming out of it, and you keep repeating this process. Why? What's the use of this? We have only 80 years to live, 80 to 100 years to live, depending upon how healthy you are. So you don't waste your time re-traumatizing yourself. So wherever you see that people are considering you broken, run away from them. Run away from them, even if they are the best in the world. You don't need no fixing. I'll talk about that in a second. The third point that I want to talk about is cultish rigidity. Cultish rigidity is like whenever there is some sort of a normal, out of the ordinary information, when somebody is tapping into true wisdom in the universe, which you and I have access to, we all have access to, when somebody start to have that access, that person start to think that I'm so special. Oh my gosh, everybody should worship me. And because of that, they are also manifesting, and they are also co-manifesting with their followers to create a cultish level persona. And everybody is like, oh my gosh, look at that person, whether it is a political leader or a spiritual teacher or a self-help teacher. Now it became a cult. And that person is like referred to as like guru and other stuff, right? And what happens is you're missing the point. The whole idea of this supposed guru to help you was to show you that you're capable of doing that. That very idea is broken. Why? Because that person became guru and you're a student. So if you are somebody's student, you are their teacher too. One more time. If you're somebody's student, you are their teacher too at the same time. So nobody earned to get respect because they have something, they know something. Of course, you should respect them. Respect everybody for that matter. But that respect is not from that person being a cultish leader, doing some magic and doing some stuff. And this trend happens in India a lot, right? Everybody from Europe and US are going to India to find this teacher who has the magical powers, right? The magical power is with you. You don't need to follow a cultish leader. And don't get mad at me if you can. If you want to get mad at me, you can. But the cultish leader, I'm sure he told you that you shouldn't get mad at me. I'm kidding. But don't, okay? So here's the point. Point is, you can go to India and visit the teachers. But if you are somebody's student, you are their teacher too. So understand. So there is an element of equality there. So there is no cultish leader. Don't waste your time on it. Which leads me to the fourth point, which is false sense of accomplishment. Right? And so here's the thing: Western world versus Eastern world. Right? So I'm a cross section of both. Right? So I have been to both, and I'm experiencing both at the same time to know that the Western part of the world is lonely. We don't know what to do. We are like, oh, we are so lonely. Where is the meaning for life? Eastern world is like, they have so much meaning. Even if they are poor, they have meaning in their life. They feel experience, they feel joy. And all of the Eastern world, most of all the Eastern world, generally speaking, has that meaning. They feel that meaning. They feel that connection to earth, to universe, to world. And then what happens is, if you connect with the Eastern world, as a Westerner, you will start to realize that, oh my gosh, these people are happy. And then if somebody is like somewhat knowledgeable, you tend to think that, oh, this person, this feels so good. This feels so good because that person has wisdom and deep groundedness, right? They are grounded. It feels good. And you should follow that. But the point is, your life is given by your creator to do something. And doing doesn't have to be karmic things. Doing can be, meditation or prayer or dance or acting or something else, business or something else. The point is, inaction is not an action. You need to be doing something. Whether it is meditation, that's fine. Meditating is an action, right? Praying is an action, right? So dancing is an action. Doing business is an action. Loving is an action. But there needs to be an action. Not inaction is not going to get us to the next level. So let's not have the false sense of accomplishment as business people. If you're a business person listening to this, in order for you to grow to the next level, you cannot just by dreaming and visualizing and doing other things and not doing anything. It's not going to get you to the business. You might get luckier because of the meditation, but you have to actually do stuff. In order for you to do stuff, what you need to do is you need to see yourself doing things. You need to imagine yourself doing things. So a false sense of accomplishment is dangerous because we start to think that, oh, I have everything that I need. What is the meaning of life anyway? If I have it, if I don't have it. This is the Eastern influence on the West. And I'm not saying it's bad, but observe this. Whether I have it, it's Maya. Whether I don't have it, it's Maya too. So why should I have it? That is not ideal. That's an entire philosophical conversation we need to have. So in business, we need to have real accomplishment. We need to show revenue. We need to have profit. We need to have cash flow. We need to have tangible things that takes our business to the next level. That's really important. That leads me to the fifth point. The fifth point is amplification of brokenness. So amplification of brokenness is like, for example, you go to a self-help teacher. What do they need to do? Like, generally speaking, if you read a book, they try to sell you on a problem that you have, right? So they try to sell you on a problem that you have, and they are the solution for that problem. So let me solve this for you, right? And all of a sudden what happens is, and you're like, why are you saying this? Aren't you doing the same thing? I'm not. And you will know the difference of what I do and other people do in the world. And I'm not saying I'm the only person that you should trust. There are millions of people all over the world helping other people without breaking them. Humans as a whole, we collectively believe we are not enough. Most of us believe that we are not enough anyway. We will not be accepted. I'm not enough, I will not be accepted. From that feeling of insecurity, feeling of fear, we developed something called brokenness. At any given time, we feel incomplete. And we think the wife is going to give you, the husband is going to give you, the prayer is going to give you, the guru is going to give you. It's going to fill that gap. Nobody's going to fill that gap but you. The moment you are able to find out that you are truly, this is the moment of truth. The moment you are able to find out that you are truly unbroken, that is the moment you find yourself. So if anybody is helping you to see your broken self, understand that they didn't get it yet. They don't understand it yet. So try to find your unbroken self. And that void is just a feeling. It's just psychological fear. Jiddu Krishnamurti will call it psychological fear. If you get rid of that void, if you fill that void with liquor or drugs or women or men or whatever, it's not going to go away. With a guru, it's not going to go away. With books, it's not going to go away. If you want to get rid of that void, look at yourself, look at the mirror, and look at your Creator and say, Creator created me perfectly. And I know I have weirdness, and I have a darker side, I have a light side, I have confusion, I have conflicts, I do all kinds of crazy things. I made mistakes, but I don't do anything adharma. So if at night, if you kill, if you're a serial killer at night, killing other people, this is not for you. If you don't do adharma, if you don't do anything that harms other people, if you don't do anything that harms other people, you are designed to be perfect. You just need to find that self, that perfect side of you that is unbroken. And that moment, everything will transform. So the fifth challenge of the self-help trap is that the self-help is amplifying your void, whether you know it or not. And you go to the seminar at the end, you're like, oh, really excited. At the end, you are finding more void in you, and then more void in you, and more void in you, and less meaning in you, until you feel like so confused what happened. And then you start blaming you. Oh, I screwed up. No, you didn't. You are created in a perfect way. And how is it related to business? If you are able to find this place where you are connected with yourself, where you are connected with yourself in a deeper level, you could see yourself, you could look at your eyes and say, I'm unbroken. At that moment, your life starts. Your life starts by creating the mission that you came here to create. You'll start creating the vision and the mission and the action, and you will move in a streamlined way. Things will be easy. You feel like you are in Finding Nemo. There's a movie called Finding Nemo. There's a place where everybody's going slow and everything, and all of a sudden there is an East Australian current. There is a East Australian current, which is a fast track to success, fast track to getting to Melbourne, Australia, right? So you get into that fast track of life, and then things start moving and accelerating for you until you move to the next level. That is how you're going to scale your business, double your cash flow, and maximize your profit starting today.